All right, this is the last, like I said earlier, this is the last worksheet of this little section. Take a test on Monday over this. Everybody should get a great grade on it. Then we'll move on. All right. Again, it'll get a little bit more difficult than this, a little more challenging. But really, I mean, the stuff we've done so far this year is definitely harder than anything we're going to be doing. But at least this will lay a foundation. That's what I'm trying to do. Just lay a foundation for you guys. So combining like terms, what in the world does that mean? That means we can only add things that are like terms. What in the world is a like term? Well, if I had like 3x plus, I don't know, 5x, okay? I can add these together because they're like terms. I always go back to this, okay? When I first teach what variables are and adding like terms and all that kind of stuff back, who knows, Algebra 1, pre-algebra probably, use apples. I don't know why we use apples, but it seems like that's a common thing to do, okay? So if I had 3 apples plus 5 apples, how many apples do I have? I have 8 apples, okay? I'm telling you, we're going back to the basics, like I said, all right? So if I have 3 x's plus 5 x's, how many x's do I have? I have 8 x's. Now look, some people get this mixed up, okay? Even when they're seniors, they get this mixed up. They think that you like add the 2 x's, that means there's 2 x's plus the 3 and the 5. I've seen people do that. I've seen people multiply. I've seen people put like 8x squared on this. Okay, why you would add the 3 and the 5, get an 8, and then decide to multiply the x's, I don't know why. But I've seen it. I've seen a lot of things, okay? But remember, you just add. By the way, here's some words. I tell you what, let's do the x first. What general name do we give it x? A letter that stands for a number. What do we give that? A variable, okay? Because it could change, right? It could vary. Do you realize that's why we call it a variable? Because it could change. X, depending on your equation and all that, x could be any number at all. It could vary. But this right here, we don't call it a constant. If it was just a number sitting there by itself, just a regular number with no variable next to it, we just call it a constant. Well, what do we call the number that's in front of the variable that's being multiplied by it? What is it? I can't hear you whispering. Integer? Well, it is an integer technically, but if it's being multiplied by a variable, we give this a special name. Starts with a C. Anybody? Coefficient. C. Did I spell that right? I think I did. All right. It's called a coefficient. So we'll refer to that quite a bit. So when I talk about the coefficient, it means it's the number of things that you have, right? You could get, and I don't think they really do on this. No, they don't at all. But you could get a little more complicated with this. You could go, watch, 3xy squared plus 5xy squared. Now, they don't do this in the worksheet. They keep it really basic and simple, okay? But you could have something like this. And maybe on another worksheet, we will have stuff like this. But this is the exact same thing as this, isn't it? I mean, the same type of thing, I should say. All right, because I got 3, what? Xy squareds. And over here, I got what? 5 xy squared. So how many xy squareds do I have? That's right, I got 8 xy squared. Everybody with me on that? All right, so really, all you do when you combine like terms, you keep the term the same. Everybody listening? You keep the term the same, and you just add the coefficients. Everybody see that? Yeah. So all I did was add the 3 and the 5. I got an 8. What do I do with these variables? I just leave it what it was. Now, what about this? What's that equal to? Is it? You said 8xy, you would be doing the same thing as I said over here. Remember I said some people would say 8x squared, and I said, why in the world would you think that you multiply the x and the x together? Well, why would you multiply the x and the y together? They're not being multiplied. What's going on? You're adding, right? Well, again, let's go back to apples, okay? What do they say? You can't combine apples and oranges, okay? Now, and some people say, well, you can because they're fruit. They're pieces of fruit. Yeah, I get it, okay? But you don't have 8 apples or you don't have 8 oranges, agreed? Right? So what can you say? You just say you have 3 apples and 5 what? Oranges, okay? And that's all you can say. You can't say you have 8 of anything. Now, again, people say, well, you have 8 pieces of fruit. Okay, yeah, I get that. But you don't have 8 oranges. You don't have 8 apples. Okay, so it's the same thing here. If I have 3x and 5y, can I combine those? Can I combine? No, because they're not what? They're not like terms. This has an x in it. This has a y in it. They're not opposite. They're just not like. They're just not the same terms. Okay? So that's all I could do with that. There's nothing else I could do with that. So I would just leave it. Okay? I don't know if they're going to give you anywhere you just leave it like that. I kind of doubt they will, but that's what you're going to do. Let's do a couple examples on the worksheet, and then I'll let you work on it. Okay? So let's find a real basic one. Let's do number 1. It's pretty basic. They use a K. I'm going to use an X. I just like writing X. All right, so it's negative 6x plus 7x. Let's pay attention. You guys are still yelling out. I got people taking a test. The only people they should be hearing is my annoying voice, not yours, okay? So let's just watch. So here's the same situation. First of all, do we have like terms? Yeah, because they both have an x. Now, does the 6, the negative 6, and the 7, does that mean they're unlike terms? No, the coefficients can be different, okay? So the variables have to be exactly the same. Are the variables exactly the same? Yeah, they are, okay? So what I do is I just add the coefficients and just tag along whatever the variable is. So really, it's just as easy as what we've done on one of these worksheets. It's negative 6 plus 7. What's negative 6 plus 7? Positive 1. And then what's my variable? X. Do I even need the 1? You don't need it. Now, could I put it there? Yeah, absolutely. I could put it there. But you don't need it. I would probably just write X. That's it. Let's do another one. Number 2. They use an R, but I'm going to use X. I just like X. All right, what about this? Nisi? That's right. So these are your only like terms. Please. These are your only like terms right here. Okay? You don't have any other x's. So what do I do with that x if I don't have any other x's? Do I just get rid of it? Do I just throw it away? Yeah, you just keep it, right? You just keep it. Okay? So you just keep it, and now you just add the things that are like terms. These are just regular numbers. They're integers, as one of you guys said earlier, okay? You just add those together. All right, so it's negative 8 minus 12. How do we do negative 8 minus 12? We've done a worksheet on that already. What do we do? Add the what? Add the opposite, right? So what is that? Right, minus 20. And then that would be your answer right there. Okay? Let me take a peek. Yeah, they do get a little bit more involved, and that's good. Let's jump all the way down to number 26 on the worksheet. Write this down. Let's use X instead of M. I don't know why, just like X. There you go. So it's a combination of stuff that we've done in all our worksheets so far, isn't it? All right. Distributed property, we just finished doing that, right? And then we're going to have to add negative numbers. We're going to have to multiply negative numbers. So really, pretty much everything we've done so far on these worksheets really comes into play on this problem right here. All right. So let's see if we can do it. What's the first step? Yeah, I would distribute. Take this negative 9 is being multiplied by this parentheses right here. So I'm going to take that negative 9 and I'm going to distribute it through here. Once I get done doing that, what am I going to do with this 6? Distribute that through this parentheses. Okay? It's all old stuff. We've done it all this week, right? So from Monday to today, we're covering it all. So negative 9 times 6. What's negative 9 times 6? First of all, it's negative, right? Because a negative times a positive. Different signs are always negative. What's 9 times 6? 54. Yeah, why did I put M? Because the book or the worksheet says M, but I meant to put an X, sorry. All right, so it's negative 54 what? X, right. And now it's negative 9 times negative 3. Right? What's negative 9 times negative 3? It's positive 27. Okay? Everybody with me? All right. And then let's do this one right here. It's a positive 6 times positive 1, which is a plus what? 6. And then a 6 times 4x, which is positive 24x. All right? We just finished doing that yesterday. Now we're doing what we're doing today. Okay, now we look to see if there's any like terms. Are there any like terms here? Does anything else have an x with it? Yeah, this one right here. So I'm going to add this one to this one. Those are the only two that you can add together. So that doesn't have an x, that doesn't have an x. I can only add the stuff that have the same terms. Okay, they both have x, so we can add them up. What's negative 54 plus 24? Negative 30, good. And it's negative 30x. Everybody see that?
Yeah.
All right, and then we add this. It's positive 27, positive 6. Can you do that in your head? 33, and that's it. That's your answer. You can't add these two together, can you? Because this has an x, this doesn't have an x. All right, so they're not like terms. So that's the only way that you can write this. That's it. Doesn't get any harder than that one right there. Everybody good?
Yes.
Feeling better about math now?
Yes.
Okay.
I love math now.
Yeah. All right. So this worksheet will be due tomorrow. All right. I'll give you the answers tomorrow. And we'll do a little review if you need it. And then we'll take the test on Monday, corrections on Tuesday, and so forth.